market.
This is a market where, the semis at various times, NVIDIA included, would have you question the durability, at least in a short-term nature of that trade. And then you get something like a Taiwan Semi, which we've made our chart of the day today because it's soaring today. Best day since May, late May of 23. They had a strong report and a guide. It's up 12%. NVIDIA's up. Broadcom's up. NVIDIA's at a new high, by the way, as well. And it's right on the heels of Apple in terms of market cap. But this has been an important trade. It's looked a little rocky, if not lumpy, at certain points. And thank you, Taiwan Semi.
Well, you have to give it to these guys. I mean, honestly, they build capacity and the buyers come. I mean, people will pay anything to get these chips now. So let's just all admit that whether or not companies are able to make any money from AI based on, applying them, if you're Google or Amazon or Apple, they have to buy the chips. So it's not about what they're doing with the chips that is monetizing them. It's whether they have to take what supply is available. And we're seeing that across the board. So expect that the NVIDIA number is going to be extremely good because we're getting that information from Taiwan Semi. I would also point out, Scott, that if investors think that interest rates are coming down, and they have come down, debatable about how much. That means they are less likely to hold the cash that they have if their CDs are rolling off or treasuries rolling off the 5% rates to lower rates. They might just put it in the market.
Okay, so you said they have to buy the chips. Well, they also have to buy the chip equipment names, right? Like Applied Materials, like Jim Lebenthal bought more of. Already owns NVIDIA, he owns Qualcomm. This is a name that's up 16% year to date. Why'd you buy more, AMAT?
Well, I had started it earlier this year, Scott, and when you start a position, it's a small position. It got knocked down hard the other day when that ASML earnings release came out ahead of schedule. That gives me the opportunity to get in. Look, I understand the ASML news was not good, but you're in a secular bull market for building semiconductor plants. It's both because of the demand for semiconductors. It's also because of the geographic reconfiguration that's going on because of geopolitical risks. That's going to inure to the benefit of all the semi-cap equipment manufacturers. AMAT has done a lot better over the last 1 and 2 years than ASML. ASML is a fine company, but the fact that it has a quasi-monopoly has basically given it a valuation that makes it very susceptible when bad news comes out. AMAT doesn't quite have that problem. And again, this just gave me a great opportunity to get in, to increase a secular position for them.
You want to talk about NVIDIA? Here, as we say, new all-time high, right on the heels of Apple in terms of overall market cap leadership in the market.
Look, this is just one of those situations where until they materially stumble, fundamentally, like miss a delivery or have some sort of like a manufacturing issue, like until something like that happens, people just come into this name. And I don't even know if do we all remember on this desk? Literally, this stock was in a 24% drawdown in September. You know how many people said if NVIDIA ever has a correction, I'll buy it? Did they? Did they buy it?
When it was $100?
Yeah.
Right?
Or did they say, oh, it's in a 24% correction, it's over? A lot of people that said, oh, I can't wait for it to come in, that's where I'll buy. Well, it did come in, didn't last long. And yet again, you have outrageous options activity in the stock. It's at all-time highs. It's so rare that you see the second largest publicly traded company in the world have the level of options activity, bullish call spreads this time, that you have right now. And this has just been like a recurring nightmare for people that are trying to manage a portfolio that's benchmarked to the S&P. This is like high beta, gigantic weighting. How do you fight this? There's almost no other stock that acts like it. And listen, I submit, this is a really tough name at today's valuation. You could love the business, but if you have no position and you're watching this thing take out 140 as I'm talking, it's like, oh my God, how am I not in the stock? And I talk to these people, and I know.
Yeah, and look, I mean, people who have not been in have gotten in what they thought was late, and it hasn't turned out necessarily to be late.